Hello and welcome to my knife channel. Well, I'm not the first person to review this, as Peter's already come up and put up his video, his impression of this particular knife. So I got mine the same day he did, but I got mine later. And so I just held it, used it a little bit, cut some stuff, messed around with it. Some initial impressions. And as you can see, it's similar to the only other Rough Rider Reserve that I've got. This is the Whittler, the 003, and this is the barback, the 004. Now, right away, I noticed something, and that's this right here. You'll feel this, because there's a scallop for your finger, and you're wondering, what is that for? And as Peter has noted, these are wide. They're not super thin. So I guess the original intention behind this is, if you look at this, is to have a bottle opener on the knife that you don't have to open the tool to get to use. You can just take your knife out and use it as a bottle opener. Well, right away I noticed, well, this other blade is in part of the opening. But I tried it on I didn't completely lift it off, but on that Mexican, made in Mexico Coke bottle, because I don't have any bottles. And it'll reach right in there without opening it, without opening the blade. So that's one thing. But that thing is, it's like a hot spot, because when it's just sitting there, and when when the blade's in this position, you've got really two hot spots, this and this, so if you're just holding it, you feel already, it's not going to rip your skin off or anything. It's just pointy, kind of hot spots, like sharp edges on this. But what I wanted to show you, something I noticed, look at that shape. Doesn't it look like a lady leg? Kind of like this is the high heel. This is a pointy part anyway. It's a high heel over here that got flattened out somehow. And then this is the point of the shoe. It's unusual. It has an unusual shape to it. So, anyway, you can just grab it like this. Now that gets out of the way. Your finger rests in here. You've got a finger choil area. This, you don't even feel it when you're up here, because this is a good ramp for you. And it's got a nice, shape to it. It doesn't look too bad that way, to me. Of course, you get the usual tin that it comes with, and the cloth and everything. I thought I'd skip that since you already saw the first of them. Zoom in a little bit. I don't have the light on the camera because it was too glary. It was just glaring. Right. But you still got to focus over there. Look. Yeah, it's Rough Rider with an R. But you can see that finger scallop works perfect. And you've got a nice Warncliffe sheepswoody type of blade right there that works very well. Now, oops, let me unzoom this. When you go to use the other blade, not that way. Did I say go that way? Artificial intelligence. My ass. Alright, when you go to deploy this nice pin blade here, now you start feeling that. Man, that grabs you. It fits in your hand well. This wideness helps out there because you can rest your thumb on it and everything, so that's not a big disadvantage. But yeah, this guy, he'll get you. For me, it gets me right there on that finger. You feel it poking into you. And on a knife, when something poking at you, subconsciously you think blade. I better watch out. I'm going to get cut. Even though it's not, still, it's pokey. It wouldn't be so much of a hot spot when you're cutting stuff like that. You'd get used to it, but still, it's just kind of weird. I read on a comment on another video. It might have been on Peter's video, but a guy was a bartender, and he said, the idea is that you want to have a bar knife where you're just carrying around. He said, well, besides it being big, you want a bail or something so you can clip it on there or on your belt or something else, and you can have it there and just pop it right away. You don't have to have a sheath. The sheath would defeat the whole purpose of this. And because they're so wide, they don't fit. This is a medium sheath. It doesn't even fit in this guy. See, there's no way. Even a large sheath is too wide. But, let me see, the only other thing, I'll put the specs up and everything, but usually they don't always have the weight in there on these things, so I'll throw that in. It is kind of heavy, but that's the thing that you'll notice. When it's closed like that, you feel that little bar thing. If they would have left that off and just made that a worn clip blade, it's been a cool knife. I mean, it's still a cool knife, but I mean, to me, I don't get the whole 157 grains. I don't know if we want grains or was that grams. There's grams. 102 grams, 3.6 ounces. So it's getting up there in weight. A little chunker. But I really like that blade shape. I thought that's cool. And it goes along well with the one that I've got. So I'm not going to buy the whole series just because it's coming out. Because this was like $50. And you're in case price on knives and stuff like that. And I'm sure I could get a single blade sway back Warncliffe for like $60 and not have to put up with all this other stuff. But, and yeah, there's some huge space in there to drop change and coins. Let me get some coins. So the coin thing is, you drop this in the bottom of your pocket along with all your other change. Maybe you don't carry change, but you buy something and look at that. That's a quarter. Just drops right in there. Here's another quarter. Rolls all the way through. Gets stuck. See, that's the problem. If it gets back there and gets stuck, you're like, what the hell? And then you lose money. You drop that. It goes down the drain. You chase after it. Nickel. Nickel's pretty thick. Fits right in there. So the way you get around this is, you either don't carry any money in that pocket or you carry it in a slip. Well, it's too thick for a slip. You're going to have to get a custom one. Get somebody thicker. Because medium and large ain't working on this guy. He's just not wide enough for this fat. You're going to have to go on a diet. See, this weird blade over here he's just too thick, even with that sleeve board kind of shape. So that's my impression of it. I mean, it's all right, but is it useful? Well, yeah, you can use it. You don't have to be in a bar, and I like the shape of it. I like the Warncliffe shape and everything. If you could lose that, I liked it a lot better. Then it would just be straight across. And I like this little finger twirl portion of it and everything. Yeah, put some jimping up here. But as it is, it's alright. It's not my favorite one. Cool, I only got two, so it's not my favorite one, even though it's the newest one. Yeah, you've got a nice spear point over here. It's fairly useful. When you're holding it like this, it's not too bad, but like I said, that guy's you're gonna feel it. This blade here, it's wedged and everything, but it's not real sharp or anything, so yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, that's my initial impressions of it. It's unique, it's different, and I don't know, with the whole advent of how often do you need to open bottles? Most of them come in with twist off, and if they don't come with twist off, they're not even in a bottle. They're not even in glass. Some places like beaches ban even having glass around. So Yeah, it's kind of an archaic thing, but I could see if you were in a bar and you're working in a bar, you might need something like this, but then a bail or something else, some way of making it accessible, because like I said, you can't really, you're going to have to put in a sheath, and then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. If the whole idea is to open up a bottle without having to open your knife, well, if it's in a slip, you're having to take it out of the slip to get to it. So, and I've seen pictures of people trying. Don't try to open a blade. Don't try to open a bottle with it like this. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get hurt. Um, yeah, you've got like so many ways to cut yourself. Anyways, that's my ideas. That's my thoughts on it. It's it complements this other Rough Rider. So here's 3 and here's 4. If 5 turns out to be something weird, where it's got a big talon shape that comes out, well, you're kind of losing me because traditional, right? You want to keep it kind of traditional shape, and this is traditional. You have to go way back to find these patterns, but they used to make these big fat blades like this and call them whittlers or whatever you want to. But I mean, yeah. That I got no problem with. This, I just saw the lady leg in it. This is my only other lady leg, by the way. I just wanted to try the pattern out. And that's where I found out that, even though it looks all funky like that, when you're up here holding it, the heel only is up back here. It's not really in your way. These can work as a bottle opener. You don't have to open a knife for it. If you got some way of putting a keychain or something on it, you can just use your bottle opener right there. So, and that's a traditional pattern. See, that's where I wish they would go with this on their Rough Riders. I wish they would say, all right, this is in D2 tool steel and everything. Let's bring out a doctor's knife with a spatula, not another backup blade and everything. A real, like a physician's blade or whatever, physician's knife, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then other things, like trappers or sow bellies, but still trying to produce, like super high quality and work on narrowing these blades down. Yeah, this is all right on this one. This guy here, look how wide. Look at that gap there, man. Come on, man. Jeez. Rough Rider knows how to do it. If you want to do it like a sow belly or whatever, you just bend a blade, and then you don't have as wide of a package. Oh, I have my calipers over here. Let me get my calipers. I think these guys are like 0.63. They're wide. Let me check. My good calipers are hiding from me, but these'll work. All right, this is in inches. 0.68, 0.64. Trying to get it at the widest spot. Let's switch it over to millimeters. 0. Yes, it's almost 17 millimeters. 16.8, 16.4. All right. What's this guy? Same thing. He's thick. All right. We take here's a sow belly with a rifle. Whole big rifle sticking on him. 13. So, yeah, they are a little bit thicker. I was just telling Pete he should stop wearing those skinny jeans. And go to cargo pants and everything. You're getting old. You don't have to try to show yourself off anymore. Face reality. But yeah, these are wide. These are kind of thick and not super light. So yeah, nice knife would be my impression. And I like the blade design like this. I like this little blade. I just wish it would have been a straight up Warncliffe. I'd have been much happier with that. This little nail nick over here, it works out pretty well just for grabbing. It gives you something to get a hold of. You don't even have to put your nail in there. You just grab it like that and pull it out. And you've got a nice flat, you know, blade for cutting out stuff and everything. And if you want to get up on it, you've got a nice place you can put your thumb and a cutout for your finger. And you really don't feel any hot spots because Mr. Pokey's up here and this other blade molds in. So once you deploy this blade, it's all right. But when it's just sitting there riding, going along for the ride, then yeah, things get kind of weird because now this gets in the way, kind of like I said. If you just like, oh, what's that? Yeah, that's about as far as I can go with it. See, these, they sit far enough in, even if this is high up, it's far enough in that you're not feeling it. This, it's sticking in that radius. It's right there. You're gonna feel it. And like I said, it's not gonna cut you feeling, but you're gonna feel something sharp and pokey. But yeah. There you go. That's my thoughts on that. I hope you enjoy these knives if you get them and stuff. And once again, if something says this is a whittler or this is a bar knife, no, these are knives that you maybe call them that, but that doesn't mean that it has to just do whittling little tiny figurines and stuff, And this one doesn't mean that you just have to use it in a bar type setting. That is kind of annoying there to me. Is, my thoughts on that is this. So look at that blade tang stamp there. 004. Yeah, because your hand will just fall into this, when it's closed. You'll just naturally want to drop in there. But there is enough depth. If you look at it straight like this, it's blocking about half of that opening for bottle opening. But by then, you've already got the lip, and you're levering up here. So it will work. Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle. I can't show you, but it'll work with it closed. You may have to cant it a little bit, but I had no problem getting underneath the bottle cap. I didn't want to pull it off, like I said. I didn't want to open it because I want to leave that thing closed. I don't want it to spoil any more than it already probably is. And we've been zoomed in again, probably for decades. So there you go. That's my first impressions of this. I hope you enjoy the knife if you get it. And if you don't, I can understand. It's not everybody's cup of tea. And, yeah. Perhaps you'd want something bigger, like a big knife. Let's say make one of these. Instead of a trapper, make it something else, like a muskrat or, I don't know, something. What they should do is like a 47 pattern, like GC came out with the GC47s for 2020. Most of them didn't even hit the shelves. They're already gone. You got to get them on the secondary market. That's the workman's knife. I've got one, but they sold out of theirs at Rough Ryder. If they would have just made one of those in the reserve pattern, like put your very best shot at an already existing pattern. I'm just saying, you can do whatever you want with your stuff, but people would part with their money a lot more if it kept more towards traditional. It's good to keep up, with a better steel, but the more you start straying from anything that anybody's seen, I don't know. To me, it kind of turns me off because, like I said, bottles are not that predominant anymore. And even when they were, I never needed to open a bottle that urgently, that like it was a big inconvenience to open it, by opening up a bottle opening thing. Or if I would have been into that, I would have carried a lady leg with me. So there you go. Sorry for dragging this on. That's my long-winded evaluation of the Rough Rider Reserve and the whole Reserve line in particular, and in my particular strategy towards getting them. I'm not just going to jump at the very next one unless I find an interesting blade shape, or like I said, this one, the blade shape is interesting to me. It is something that you're not going to find on other knives, but I think it would have been better if they'd just been filled in and left, and not even call it a bar back, call it, I don't know, humpback. What do you got? He's got a hunchback. That'd probably be, they get in trouble for people that have hunches on their back. So, thank you for watching, and have a nice day. My final thoughts, I like it. It's a nice blade shape. But for $50, you're starting to compete with other competitive blade shapes and other designs. But still, I like it, but I'm not overwhelmed by it, I guess would be my final evaluation.